I think everyone's got a great chance this FA Cup because it's cup football, man. Anyone can knock anyone out.
You're being nice though, Potters, at the same time, because you're automatically through in the Champions League. So, if you want the look of the green, you're automatically through in the Champions League. You've got Mansfield in the next round. So even though you've got to rotate, I don't think it's going to be the most intense game for whoever second string team Arteta does decide to put out. So that means it's not a bye, but it's technically a bye. You would going to have to play the Carabao Cup final anyway, whoever it was, and obviously it's City. That becomes a test. Like I think Pete said, I think Pete was saying it before. You almost want to break. The champions don't get made in breaks, bro. They get made in the fire. So you got to go through a little something this season. City being that first one could really tee you up. Obviously, you don't know what you're going to get in the Champions League draw. So I think the same way we got very close, I know you all take the piss, but the same way we was down to the last day in every single competition, that happened because we had a little bit of luck to get us all the way to that point. Obviously, we was very unlucky in those 2 last games of the season for us. But you could find yourselves in a situation like that, and then it's about, do you want it? Do you have the nerve and the bottle to go and take it? Because that'll be the big question in the test. Because if you continue to get good draws, who's really?
And look, I can add to that as well, and I don't really want us to labour this point and to draw into it too much. It's just for me to make this kind of comment. Is that, Potts, does your opinion change? You drop points against Brentford. You could drop points on the weekend and you could drop points the week after. Let's not draw too much into it, but would your opinion change towards the FA Cup then?
Well, I've got to play Wolves first before we play you because we got them Wednesday night because we can't play them because we got in something called a cup final, which I know Tottenham don't know much about. But our game then got rearranged. So we've got to play that on Wednesday. So I'm concentrating on Wolves at the moment, bruv.
I don't know why Charlie was in fits and giggles there. What was so funny?
Because Charlie thinks you're a comedian, mate. That's what it is.
What's that Wolves game this Wednesday coming? Is in like 2 days?
Yeah. 2 days time, bro. Yeah.
I don't know why you've got the benefit of doing it before the cup final. Why have you got the benefit of having that game before the cup final?
That makes sense.
The league want Arsenal to win the league, bruv, and everyone's loves us, and it's
making
it easy for us. I don't know. I don't actually know. I ain't got
Wolves away Wednesday, and then who playing on the weekends? You got Wolves, and then who?
And then this dusty lot down there.
Oh yeah, shit, North London derby, yeah.
So what I was saying is, because Dan Potts seems to think that the points are in the bag. Should Arsenal look? Let me also play along. In the unlikely event that Arsenal drop points against Wolves and Spurs this weekend, does his focus shift from going for the Premier League to focusing on more realistic silverware, which is the FA Cup?
This guy, man. First of all, I need him to talk up a bit because I can't hear him down there in 15th or 16th, wherever he is. Second of all, I also have to be real with you that the FA Cup is my favourite competition because, I've got 14 of them and Arsene Wenger won 7 of them in my time. And I know that Deji has struggled to know that because they can only win it when the year ends in 1. But when it comes to my club, we've always got a great chance of going all the way. So I actually think the squad we've got right now has already proven that it can deal with all 4 fronts because we sat top of the league, we sat top of the Champions League, we're in the final with the Carabao, and I think we're pretty much, as Errol says, got Mansfield, which gives us a bye to the quarterfinal. What my interest shifts is what your club are going to be doing because it's a nice little segue to your new manager, Tudor. We've got a picture of him.
Nasty work, man. That's nasty work. Potts has had that planned for about a week.
That is nasty work. I'm absolutely fully offended that you've had to turn this show. This was a great show about football, and then Dan Potts has had to spoil it by bringing in Henry VIII. What the hell are you doing here?
So there is Tudor, bruv. That's what they're saying now. There is Tudor. That's what I'm hearing, bruv. So what you got for me this week? We've got to play Wolves first, so I'm concentrating on that. But we'll come to your fault because this is new manager bounce. Igor Tudor has been appointed. You've got your wish, and Thomas Franks walked the plank. And how are you feeling now, brother?
Well, firstly, then, I want to congratulate you on your song, mate. Your little video.
Oh, do you know what?
It's very good, mate. Yeah.
Thank you. Thank you.
Yo, I haven't seen it. I need a link.
You haven't seen it? It's on his channel, bro.
All right,
I'm in a bit. I was in a bit of pain, so I got a bit creative over the weekend. Look, I think I don't know this fella. I can't lie. I won't pretend. The only thing
we knew that was going to happen, though, Dej. We did tell you. Respectfully, we did tell you. No, I know he's only interim. So
Frank had to go, and the reason why it's interim is because last week, I don't know if anyone noticed, but Pochettino did a little podcast where he basically confessed his undying love for Spurs, and he basically put his hand out and said he wants to come back, and he wants to come back after the World Cup. So we've now left that space for Poch. I mean, the guy wants the job. He basically said it. So we would be stupid and remiss to not give him a second chance at his beloved. Do you know what I mean? And I believe in second chances. I mean, what sort of world would the world be if we aren't prepared to give people a second chance? I mean, fall back if you guys are not into second chances. Look, Igor, I think when I was telling you about winning the Champions League, you guys were assuming it was going to be under Frank, but I had other plans coming with the little Mystic Meg, little crystal ball that I have in my bedroom. The thing is, Igor is come to do one job and one simple job only. We're here for a new manager bounce. If this guy can stink out a few points and guarantee our safety, he's a legend. Thanks very much. And we'll wait for Poch after the World Cup. That's what he's been brought in. It was very clear under Frank, we weren't going to win nothing under that brother, and we were potentially going to. I actually said this weekend we could have been looking at 6s and 7s in the North London derby. Arsenal absolutely trouncing us. But with this Igor, the good thing is that we've got the element of surprise. We don't know what system we're going to play. People are assuming we're going to play for it at the back because he plays for it at the back. His record in terms of
have you even got 3 centre backs at the club that are fit?
And let him play. You know what I mean? And in terms of a short-term fix, his record speaks for itself. In terms of a long-term fix, his record speaks for itself. So for the short term, it's positive. For the long term, it's negative. He's got 12 games to turn it around. Give him the 12 games, keep our season alive, and do the unthinkable and give us the Champions League trophy.
Does anyone genuinely believe that Spurs can get relegated?
Yes, I do.
No, I don't think so.
They stink, but there's still barely a Wolves and there's still Forest. And
West Ham and Forest. It might come down to who gets a better bounce out of Forest and Spurs.
Yeah.
Out of the 12 games left, how many do you think they have to win out of the 12 games left?
5.
Top 5.
Okay, let's say 5, because I agree, probably 5, right? Let me read out the fixtures. Yeah. In your head, try and work out where these 5 wins come from. Arsenal at home, Fulham away, Tottenham, Palace at home,
I think
Liverpool at Anfield,
no,
Forest at home,
Forest at home,
Sunderland at Stadium of Light,
no, not at Stadium of Light.
Tottenham at Brighton at home.
Yeah, you think
they're in a mess. They're in a mess.
Wolves
away. They only need to win that 4 though. If they beat Forest, they don't even need to get the 5 or the 6.
True, yeah, they do beat Forest.
I agree with you, Errol, but I don't know if they will. You were saying yes to some. I'm not sure. I'm not sure about Craven Cottage. I don't think they're guaranteed to beat Palace at home. They're not going to win at Anfield, in my opinion. They might beat Forest at home. I don't think they win at the Stadium of Light. There's only City that has, I think.
We did.
Liverpool that have. Sorry, Errol. Liverpool that have. Brighton at home, you don't know because Brighton are shocking, but you don't know where they'll be. Wolves away, I don't know. They drew at home and Palhinha ripped his shirt off in the last minute like they won the World Cup.
It's good you how important it was at that point in the relegation battle.
Well, that's where it was. He knew what was coming. Then they go to Villa Park away. They ain't going to beat Villa at Villa Park, in my opinion. But they do have then last 3 Leeds at home, which they've got to win. And then Chelsea at Stamford Bridge. Don't think they'll be a win there. And then Everton at home. So, I don't know,
we could do it. Maybe 5.
Everton are better on the road, though. Everton are better on the road. You can't buy them.
They'll get 4 or 5 wins out of them. I think they will.
Yeah. I think it will start this weekend. Sorry, Pete.
No, I was going to say, like Errol said, I think that Forest game is massive. Because that swing of points, if you get that win against Forest, could ultimately mean you need less than 5 wins. and you don't necessarily need all of those wins to get you there. I think it's close. I think people are. I don't know. Like I'm not doing this to throw anything back at Potts, but I'm putting it out there. Is there a world where Tottenham like stink their way to a point, or maybe even three?
There is.
I'm just putting it out there. I don't believe. I think Arsenal will win.
What's your record against them?
It's probably more to judge than anything else. Like, is there a world where new manager bounce, new vibe, new feeling, fans all cramming in because the new manager's there? Like, is there a world where that happens? I don't know. I don't know. Out there as a conversation.
Potts, what's your record against them in the last couple of seasons, though? I can't remember them beating you for a while.
Last 3 times we've been there, we've won, but they did beat us that year when they had Conte.
Yeah, they did. Kane and Son scored, I think, in that game.
Yeah. Rob Holding got sent off in like 10 minutes, and it was done.
Yeah.
I need to know what Deji's thinking though. What's Deji thinking about that?
Pete, I think you are someone who fully understands me, man. I think there's had it been Frank, it would have been wank this weekend. There is a small possibility that this geezer could do the unthinkable and get
Spurs. A draw is the unthinkable.
We get a draw at home.
It's the unthinkable.
Spurs get a draw against Arsenal. We've scuppered their chance of winning the league before hay fever kicks in, and then all of a sudden we're looking up. Do you know what I mean? So look, we don't know. We hope we're asking to do. Look, today is to do. Today is to do. I'll be singing today is to do. If Spurs get a victory against bloody Arsenal on the weekend, mate, he could have the bloody job if we beat Arsenal on the weekend. Do you know what I mean? That's how important the game is. But if we get a trouncing on the weekend, 5-6. Then Tottenham is in real trouble. I don't think we're too big to go down. I think the damage, there's been so much damage, and we have to acknowledge and give a nod to the fact that we did finish 17th last season. It would only be right, given that we have not improved the squad, that we go down. I don't want to go down, but I feel like Tottenham have provided the most minimal tools to stay up as well, because this geezer does not.
Bro,
that he's going to keep us up.
Bro, you get 46 games next season in the Championship.
You do, but that's some of the real shit you never said on this channel.
Bro, you know what it is?
No, genuinely, that's some real shit right there,
Respect, bro, but when I look at the table, bro, I'm 5 points from the drop. Do you know what I'm saying? So it's getting real. Do you know what I mean?
Who do we think's going down then? Who do we actually? Burnley and Wolves are done, right? But who else? Do you think West Ham or Forest? They're the only other two, really.
I think Forest.
Yeah, don't tell Wolfie, but it's been quiet without Lawless. Wolfie makes me miss Lawless. Like, genuinely, and I never thought there'd ever be a world where someone would make me miss Lawless. But Wolfie's that guy. I'm sorry. So,
I think West Ham have got a bit about them. I think they're on a. I think they've got enough to start. I mean, it all depends on what this Vitor Pereira guy does at Forest, but I'd fancy West Ham. Would it be fitting if Nuno sends Forest down? I'd love it.
That would be
players. Who's got the better players out of West Ham and Forest, in your opinions? Because I'm not sure. I'm kind of leaning towards West Ham. I'm not quite sure.
No, I'm leaning towards Forest.
Yeah, on paper it's Forest.
And I can't wait for the fire sale. Forest to do a fire sale, bro. I wouldn't mind just cherry picking 1 or 2 from them next season because they're in the Championship.
Yeah, Murillo's looking all right at centre back.
Bro, he just seems like an enforcer. Yeah. Run me a couple of those Forest, man, because they'll play well in a good team.
Yeah,
just having a bad season.
West Ham have got Bowen and that Somerville, and that Fernandes looks pretty good.
Somerville's confidence only.
I'm saying these seasons, it is about, can you put the ball in the back of the net? And because they've got Bowen, because they've got those players that you just mentioned, like that's why I'm almost kind of leaning. Obviously, Forest have got Anderson, they've got Murillo, they've got players.
They've got goals, have they? There's not really any goals in that team.
What, in Forest team?
Yeah,
that's why I'm not sure. This is why I'm kind of leaning towards West Ham because of their attack. They look like. I mean, even Wilson.
They've got more momentum.
Goals. He's not he's not like the same Wilson that was at Newcastle, but he can pop up with a goal now and again. Like, so they've got players that can put the ball in the net. That's why I'm kind of leaning towards them to get out of it, but I'm not sure. It's a really tough one.
Do you think this Pereira appointment has basically sunk Forest, though? Like, this Pereira appointment is bizarre. I don't understand it at all. This Marinakis is a nutter, bruv. Like, this is the reason Wolves are down there, because of him.
Bro, all of them have been weird appointments. Ange, Deitch, and now Pereira. It just screams like we've got no idea.
I think they're hoping that he has the same effect he did with Wolves when he took over, that bounce, because he can't lie, when he took Wolves over that season, they went on an incredible run and they climbed up the table. So maybe they're just hoping that that's what happens.
That's all they can hope for, isn't it?
They're all clutching and hardy. They're all of them are clutching. But it's the same thing that could be said about, you mentioned it before, I think, Charlie, saying Spurs and Forest, whoever's new manager gives them a much more of a bounce between now and the end of the season. Same argument could be said with you and United for Champions League. I think your timing of both of those managing appointments has changed maybe your stance on whether you should get Champions League through the league now.
Yeah.
Do you think that? Let's go see what Deji thinks. He's very quiet down here about this relegation. Like, he's looking worried. Who do you think's going down with Burnley and Wolves, Deji?
Well, but boy, bruv, legitly, and this is probably the most legit you're gonna ever see me. It's anyone's game between Spurs, West Ham, and Forest. I think West Ham have the most momentum at the moment, and for me, for the game of football, I would actually like Nuno to keep West Ham up. I think he's been disrespected as a manager. Look at the brilliant job he did at Nottingham Forest. Spurs, we were a disgrace. I think he was in charge 8 games. I would love nothing more than to Nuno to stick 2 fingers both at my club and also Nottingham Forest and say, hey, look at a good manager that I am. So fair play to Nuno. So I'd love him to stay up for that reason. This Igor Tudor geezer looks like the nail in the coffin for me for Spurs. I think we go down because of him.
Wow.
I can't see how this brother is going to. We would have been better off bringing in Harry Redknapp. Harry Redknapp talked about getting your arm around the lads, saying, come on, lads, you're good players. Let's do something. Igor Tudor is like a bloody headmaster. Do you know what I mean? He's going to come in with the
you're taking Tim Sherwood back.
Bro, do you know what is mad? Hey, Charlie, you know what? Do you know what is mad? He's had the best statistics out of all managers at Spurs. I don't think he wants the job. Do you know what I mean?
Bro, him and Adebayor doing serious stuff when he were there.
I don't know why Tim Sherwood doesn't say. And also because what I loved about Tim Sherwood was he genuinely looked at the academy boys and gave them a shot. Pochettino tried to lay claim to wanting to keep Harry Kane at the club. But it was Tim Sherwood who unearthed Harry Kane and went, bloody hell.
It was actually.
You know what I mean? So I think there's a shout. Spurs have got some decent players in the academy that are being absolutely disrespected. Could you imagine? We're struggling for centre-backs, yet we've got Ashley Phillips doing a job in the Championship. You know, we got good young players. We got Viskovic playing for a German team.
Yeah, he's decent apparently.
Like, killing him.
I am absolutely disgusted that
you got him.
I'm disgusted that you got him because he was a player I was looking at. I've been watching him in Germany. I'm like, hold on. I wanted to sign him in summer and then realised that you've already got him and I'm absolutely
He's serious.
He is a top centre-back. He's 19, man. He's 19. Why is he not already playing in your team now?
Deji, can I ask you a question?
Viskovic would be at Spurs right now. And
he's quality. He's quality.
Do you know what I mean?
Deji, just a quick question. Obviously, still in Champions League, and I know we've had the jokes about, we could win the Champions League, still blah. Do you think you're getting? No, fair. But do you think we're getting to a situation here with Spurs? I personally don't think Spurs go down. I just don't. I don't. But do you think you're in a situation now with the club where you have to make the decision? Look, Champions League. We can't be doing with this now. We can't be doing with the added stress, putting the players out there, sending them out there, potentially getting injuries that could affect the league with the injuries you already have. Are you in a situation now where you say, right, scrap the Champions League, let's just focus on the Premier League?
That is a real logical argument and it makes sense. However, I think the gamble it feels too much like Russian roulette. And I tell you why, because we could we could, scupper the Champions League, as it were, and then get knocked out straight away by Atletico Madrid or Juventus. I think what keeps the fire burning, the flame, is the idea that we could win another trophy. Might just be give the players the oomph that we're going to need, the motivation to dig deep. Even though we know we're not going to win it, I think the hope of that might just motivate the players. Because literally, the other thing, Dan, just to bear in mind, and I was reading this just before I came on the show, and I was absolutely disgusted. If Spurs go down, they reckon there's going to be a exodus at 168 mil. So Romero goes, Van de Ven goes, Richarlison goes, Kudus goes, all of these players go. And it means that the players that sent us down don't get to suffer. Do you get what I'm saying? Like, they don't suffer, they just leave.
That's the problem. I mean, like, to be fair, I think
you have to look at us.
I was going to say,
Ferry Martins, Mark Viduka, Damien Duff, all these players that will be wax lyrical about. Even Sebastian Bassong ended up going to you boys off the back of it. Like, this is what happens, is that these guys that don't bother turning up end up getting there, securing their move.
Do you remember back in the day when Juventus got relegated and they all stayed, didn't they? They all said, no, we ain't going anywhere. We're staying. There's no loyalty with it, is there?
So there's no loyalty. There's no respect. They don't get to suffer. They get to go to Liverpool's and Man Cities of this world and pretend to be Champions League or Premier League.
And I'll be real though, Ditch. If that is going to happen, I kind of think you might need to go down, because if that's how you're going to get Richarlison to leave and Romero to get out of the club, maybe you need to go down, bruv. Do you know what I'm saying? Because them two need to leave. They're awful.